loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Rye and this is Rye's Reading Corner, and today I am bringing you my least favorite reads and my lowest rated reads of 2020 so far. Okay, so earlier this month I did my best books of 2020 so far, which I will tag up in the cards above. So I figured I would follow suit and show you what my least favorite books of 2020 are up to this point. So I have 2 DNFs and 6 super low rated books. So we're going to first start off with the books that I've DNF'd so far this year. The first one is The Hazelwood by Marissa Albert. So going into this book, I knew there was going to be a lot of mixed things that I'd heard about it. So I didn't go in with the highest expectations, but I just loved the cover of this book. So it kind of definitely was an impulse buy. If you're not familiar, this is about like a grandma who like wrote these fairy tales and then she passes away. And I believe like the granddaughter has to like go into these woods that she created. I honestly didn't read that much before I DNF'd it. I just could not get into it at all. But I don't know if it just was my mindset at the time or if it's the book itself. So if anyone has any suggestions if I should keep reading this book, please let me know. Like I said, I've heard many mixed things, but I did DNF this book. The second book that I DNF'd this year so far is The Fascinators by Andrew Elapoulos. I'm not sure. I did read quite a bit of this book. I probably should have just finished it because it's not a long book at all. It's like not even 300 pages. So it's about a group of kids that do have some of these like magical powers, and they're going to like college. There's like this competition that they can get scholarship like using this magic. I did not like this book at all. I felt like there was no world building at all. Like I didn't understand who had the magic powers, like why they had them. Did everybody have them? Like did not. I literally had no idea what was going on in this book. I just could not get into it. This was an Owl Crate box, I want to believe, and I honestly have not heard a lot of people talking about this book, so I'm wondering if the reactions were the same or not to me. But I did DNF this book. I just couldn't get into the magical world that the author was trying to create. So next are the books that I read but rated super low and did not like them at all, and it was brutal trying to read some of these books and finish them. So the first book is The Silver Lining Playbook by Matthew Quick. I had really high expectations going into this book because I absolutely love the movie, but this is one of the weird chances that I actually liked the movie better than the book. So this is a story about a guy who had a really rough breakup with his wife and a divorce, and he's put into a mental institution, a mental hospital, and he's there for a period of time, and he comes out and he thinks that like time hasn't been that long and that him and his wife are going to get back together, and it's him like dealing and coming to terms with that's not going to be the case. I felt that this story was super disjointed. Like they just did not like the first part of the book and the second part of the book. I don't feel like melded together at all. Thought it was really, really boring, and I was not impressed at all. I gave this 2.5 stars. There were glimpses that I liked, but overall it was a pretty rough read for me. The next book that I read that I did not like is The Mist by Stephen King, and I want to say I gave this 2 stars. So this is about a town where a storm happens. It's really bad. After the storm, there's this weird mist that comes through that ends up like killing people. I thought the premise, like the whole idea of the book, I didn't mind, but one of the main characters, the man in this book whose son's also like one of the main people in this book, does something that I think is disgusting and really like not tasteful, and I just don't understand why that needed to be in the book or how did it like move the plot line. Like it was so completely unnecessary. I'm not gonna say, but I'm sure if you've read this book you know exactly what I'm talking about, and honestly that just killed the book for me. I struggled getting through this. I think I read this for Becca's 48-hour book-oplathon, and that really just turned me off. Hated this book. But I did give it 2 stars. Only reason was because there were some things besides that I did find interesting, but that just really completely ruined the book for me. This book is a book that's super popular, I feel like, on BookTube, and a lot of people like it, but I only gave it 2 stars. I did not like it, and it is Lucy Foley's The Guest List. I was super disappointed in this book, and it makes me really sad to say it because I really had high hopes for this. It is about a couple that's getting married on an island, and we find out right off the bat that someone died, but you don't know who or how they died, and it's like told from multiple perspectives, and it's like trying to figure out like what happened. Why I didn't like this is because I felt like the ending was too perfect. Like for the ending to have happened and this big twist, literally A through Z had to be lined up perfectly, and I just felt like that wasn't realistic, and so I just didn't care for it. I didn't like the characters in the story. I just didn't like anything about it really. I will not be picking up probably any other books by her. I heard her first book is literally like pretty much the same exact thing, and it's not as good, people were saying, as this one, so I probably won't be picking that one up. But yeah, this was a super disappointment for me, and I had super high hopes going into it. All right, the next book is another big booktube favorite book, and I am one of the minority again that did not like this book, and it is Wilder Girls by Rory Powers. So I did not like this book, and I was really bummed about it because I had a lot of high expectations going into it because it is such a hyped book. If you're not familiar with this story, it is about a group of girls that are on an island. They're pretty much quarantined there. They're isolated because of this epidemic that's going on that pretty much disfigures their body. So that was really interesting to me, especially I read this at like the height of like when we were pretty much quarantined. So I thought it was gonna be super interesting. However, I just did not like the writing style at all. Her choice was to put a dual perspective of who's telling the story. However, one of the characters' perspective is only told in like 3 chapters, and so I thought like that was really irrelevant and like it wasn't needed. Also, I thought the ending, I didn't care for the ending. I just felt like it left you hanging in like not a good way. So, but because this was her debut novel, I am going to give her another chance, and I do have her novel, her new one, and I am going to read that. I have high hopes for that because a lot of people said that who loved Wilder Girls didn't care for her new book, and then people that didn't like Wilder Girls liked her new book better. So I have high hopes going into this one, but I only gave this, I think it was 2 or 2.5 stars. So pretty disappointing. All right, my next one is a book that is definitely a older book, and it is People Like Us by Dana Meal. This is about a group of girls like at a private boarding school, and someone's body is found, like a dead body is found, and they have to try and figure out who committed the crime. I felt like I was reading Pretty Little Liars, like that's like the vibe I got, but like not in a good way. I did not like how nasty these girls were to other girls for no reason. Like that's not something I enjoy reading about just because I don't like that. So this book was really rough. I wanted to DNF it, but it was such a quick read and it was easy to get through. Like the font is like super big on the pages, so it did not take long to read it all, and it was only a little over 300 pages. So I did finish it, but it was definitely a struggle. The ending was not surprising, like the whole big twist reveal at the end. I predicted it from like middle of the book, so it just was a disappointing book overall, and I definitely did not like this book. All right, the last book that I did not like this year so far and give a low rating to was a 2.5. I have a whole vlog dedicated to it, so I will post it up in the cards above, and it is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. So this is the newest Twilight series books, and it's told from Edward's perspective based off the first book, Twilight. The good things about it was I did like getting to know more about the Cullen clan and like their previous, what happened to them like prior to being turned to vampires, we learned, or like the moment that they turned to vampires. We got a little bit more insight into that. However, the level of creepiness that we've experienced from Edward, I think, is just awful. Like, when he sneaks into Bella's room, like we hear like his inner monologue thoughts of while he's watching her when he sleeps. I don't like the representation of Bella as well. I like how a weak character she is. Like she finds that there's nothing wrong with him sneaking into her bedroom, like he thought it was endearing, and I just feel like that's really disheartening and not a good role model for young girls that are reading this book. I just don't not like the wow, the ring light picks us up so bad. I just don't like the dynamic between these two. I only gave this 2.5 stars. Like I said, it was way too long, like 300 pages, way too long, and it just was a really big disappointment. And it actually has put me into a reading slump for this month, so definitely not a good one. So obviously these are just my opinions, and you definitely should read these books on your own and form your own opinions on these books. these are just what I've not liked so far in 2020. So let me know, what is your least favorite books you've read so far in 2020? And yes, so if you're new to this channel and you'd like to take this journey with me, press that subscribe button below. If you would like to be friends on any other social media, all my information is down below. And yeah, so stay kind, loves, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Special, pretty up from the minute that I met you.